For the third day, armed protesters are occupying buildings on a federal wildlife refuge in Harney County. Law enforcement officials say they're trying to end this standoff quickly and peacefully. The protesters say they aren't going anywhere. News Channel 21 starts right now.
Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is News Channel 21 at 5.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dan McCarthy. It is the third day of the occupation of the Militia Wildlife Refuge outside of Burns. A group of armed men and women led by Eamon Bundy has taken over the buildings. Our Wanda Moore has been out there since day one. She joins us now live outside the Harney County Sheriff's Office. Wanda, what's the latest?
Well, Dan, Harney County Sheriff Ward gave a brief statement to media 2 hours ago. He didn't say much, but he did address the militia group directly, telling them it's time to go home. Meanwhile, earlier today, militia leader Eamon Bundy said they've had contact with law enforcement agencies and said they've told him they would leave the group alone. Group members do not want to say how many of them there are. Initial reports said 150, but after being out here for 3 days, I can tell you that number seems way too high. In a press conference, Bundy mentioned one reason why they're here is because of local ranchers Dwight and Stephen Hammond, who reported to federal prison for arson today. But even if the sentence for the Hammonds was overturned, the group says they wouldn't leave.
That would be for the federal government to remove its unconstitutional presence here in the county.
They say they don't have demands, they have work to do. They're vague on what that work would entail, but they're prepared to stay out here for years if necessary. Today we also saw children out on the refuge for the first time. They say they were just visiting with their parents, not staying on property. Yesterday, members told us this was not a place for children. Today, Bundy said they're more than welcome to come. And there's been a lot of confusion about what this group is called. And today, Bundy said they're calling themselves Citizens for Constitutional Freedom. Dan, back to you.
Wanda Moore continuing our coverage from Harney County. Thank you. And we took to the streets of Bend today to hear what Central Oregon residents had to say about the story that has now spread across the nation. While many people have various opinions regarding the militia's right to occupy a federal building and stand against the government, an overwhelming majority of people we asked today say that they disagree with the armed group's intent.
If they don't like the rules, they should just go someplace else.
My personal opinion is they're deluded that they're going to get anything.
They're heavily armed, and they've taken over a whole building, and they're figuring that is a peaceful action, which is insane.
So we want to know, do you believe the militia takeover of a wildlife refuge headquarters is an acceptable way to make a case? So far, 51% of you say yes, you do believe it's acceptable. Meanwhile, 49% of you say no. Now, we invite you to weigh in as well. You can do that by heading to our website, ktvz.com. After weeks of below-average temperatures, Central Oregon is warming up. However, an advisory in our area has been extended. Let's go over to Emily Kirk now, who has a look ahead. Emily?
That's right, Dan. That advisory has been extended. It's in effect from Bend up north into the Columbia River Gorge. That's all the gray that you see here, and that is in effect until Thursday at 10 a.m. It was supposed to expire this morning at 10 a.m., but we don't really have any winds pushing this air out of our area. Currently, across Central Oregon, we're in the upper 30s and the upper 20s in some locations as well. Redmond is seeing a nice clearing overhead. That's what's allowing their temperatures to drop into the upper 20s. Other areas seeing temperatures in the upper 30s, like here in Bend, where we're at 39 degrees currently. Our satellite and radar are showing that partial clearing overhead. We're seeing that move up from the north. Again, some freezing rain could be possible, and that is going to make its way north over the course of our evening tonight. Going into tomorrow, we could wake up to a dusting of snow across the area, but really just some light scattered rain showers across the Willamette Valley. That actually causing some closures there as well. Moving forward through the next few hours, we're going to be sinking into the mid-20s across the region. Mostly cloudy skies all night tonight before we see some partial clearing again with some freezing rain. Could definitely be a possibility. I've got your detailed look at that coming up in just a few minutes. For now, Dan, we'll send it back to you.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by East Cascade Security and Technology.
Caught on camera, a shotgun-wielding robber held up a downtown Redmond convenience store, and some dramatic images have been released. Here is that security camera image of the man who is seen using a double-barreled shotgun to rob Moe's Food Mart at the Shell station on 5th Street at around 4:30. He's described as a white adult male, about 5'7" in height, with a slim build. He was wearing black pants, a black hoodie, aviator-style sunglasses, a mask, and a gray beanie. The robber got an undisclosed amount of money and ran away. Police say that he may be associated with a 1990s red, well-kept older pickup with a dual exhaust. If you have any information on this, call the Crime Stoppers tip line. That number is 1-877-876-TIPS, or you can visit our Crime Stoppers page at ktvz.com. You can remain anonymous, and you could be eligible for a cash reward. Today marks the first day that the city of Bend will accept applications for recreational cannabis businesses, and people started lining up as early as Friday. Right now, recreational marijuana is sold at medical dispensaries, but that is all about to change. In the fall of this year, the OLCC is expected to finalize the applications. People were waiting outside of Bend City Hall this morning in some freezing temperatures to make sure that they can complete their application.
We want to make sure that no outsiders or out-of-staters are coming in to try to open dispensaries. Where we're here in Bend, where we support local, buy local. So we're just trying to keep it all local.
I think it validates that people enjoy cannabis, and a lot of people use cannabis to feel better. And it's an acknowledgement or a step that everybody likes cannabis, and they should be able to continue to have a comfortable, safe place in which to get their cannabis.
The OLCC expects retail shops to be open by this fall. The holidays are over, but some people may still be hanging on to their Christmas tree. Bend Fire and Rescue wants to warn the public how quickly a tree can dry out and become a serious fire hazard. The department held a live fire demonstration. Trees in 2 separate rooms were ignited. One had a sprinkler, one did not. Deputy Fire Marshal Cindy Kettering says the event is designed to show not only the danger of a dry tree, but also the importance of a sprinkler system and smoke alarm.
Thing you're going to see. Without the early warning of that smoke alarm, a family could very easily die in a fire such as that. And you can hear the crack.
According to the U.S. Fire Administration, there are almost 250 Christmas tree-related fires a year. Kettering suggests recycling your tree now and says don't wait because it will only get drier and possibly more dangerous. Coming up, we're checking back in with Emily Kirk, who has another look at your forecast. Plus, we're also continuing our coverage of the Militia Refuge takeover with a look at how residents and politicians are reacting tonight.
Our community is filled with people who volunteer their time to make someone else's life a little better. Every month, News Channel 21 wants to recognize one of these unsuspecting people with a $500 prize. Nominate someone you think goes above and beyond to help other people. We may just pick them. Log on to ktvz.com/payitforward and be a part of the ripple effect. Sometimes a little goes a long way. Pay It Forward is brought to you by Mid-Oregon Credit Union and Co-Energy Propane.
You know us for this, but have you tried this or this? Pilot Butte Drive-In, best burgers and breakfast this side of the Cascades.
Pilot Butte Drive-In.
Beyond the Ranch Antiques in Redmond is the place to find unique Western accents and one-of-a-kind gifts for the cowboys and cowgirls on your Christmas list, including hundreds of wonderful original art pieces. This is unlike any other antique store you've ever experienced.
Beyond the Ranch Antiques until we meet again.
4th and Evergreen, next to Everhard's Dairy, in historic downtown Redmond.
Stop the countdown! Because now is the time to make a resolution you'll like keeping. At Team Kia and Hyundai of Bend, if you've got a job bringing home $350 a week, we want to help approve you at Team Kia and Hyundai of Bend. 2016 Elantra SE lease, $79 per month. 2015 Kia Optima lease, $99 per month. And Team Kia and Hyundai of Bend wants your old trade, so you can drive a new Kia or Hyundai today. Team Kia and Hyundai of Bend.
Theirs, ours, family style.
Hey, nice burger.
Oh, yeah. Pilot Butte Drive-In, best burgers this side of the Cascades.
Pilot Butte Drive-In.
The Local Alert Weather Forecast is brought to you by Central Oregon Heating and Cooling. Now, Central Oregon's Local Alert Weather with Emily Kirk.
Welcome back, everyone. This morning we had some partly cloudy skies with us, but an overcast day for our Monday, a little different than what we saw over the weekend. However, we didn't see any moisture in the area. Here's a look from Aubrey, Butte, and Bend. You see, putting this into motion, seeing that camera shake up on the Butte a little bit. We did have some gusts move through, but not enough to move that air stagnation out of our area. But we are seeing mostly cloudy conditions at this time moving forward. That'll help trap some of that warm air close to the surface here. Looking ahead, air stagnation advisory still in effect until Thursday at 10 o'clock. We have a chance for some wintry mix tonight going into tomorrow. However, our daytime highs will be getting back to average moving forward here. Here's a look at that watch of morning. This is that air stagnation advisory in effect until Thursday at 10 a.m. That extends up north from Bend in those low-lying elevations. That's where the winds are having a hard time getting in and moving that air out of our region. Today's highs across the state of Oregon reached 46 degrees today in Redmond, 43 in Bend. We're one of the warmer spots actually across the entire state. That's because we actually saw some sun filter through in our area. Right now across the state, we are in the upper 30s here in Bend, upper 20s in Redmond. That's because they're seeing partly cloudy conditions here in Bend. That's mostly cloudy conditions, so that's what's trapping some of the air. And Redmond is actually getting a break from that and starting to see some cooler air move in. Here's a look at your satellite and radar. All this moisture in the Willamette Valley is going to continue to move north. We will see some scattered snow showers and rain showers as well. Those could be a rain-snow mix moving through our area, and also some freezing rain is a definite possibility moving forward. Here's a look at our hourly forecast, giving you a closer look along the Cascades. There's that freezing rain for Santiam Pass especially, seeing some of that in southern Deschutes County. So moving forward through the course of our evening into midnight, that'll start to break up. However, still very isolated throughout the evening, but partly cloudy skies by about 11 o'clock tonight, but we could see some flurries along the Cascades. Overnight into tomorrow is when clouds will build throughout our morning, and then in the morning we actually could see some snow flurries across the region, but definitely some freezing rain, and that will be a concern for driving as our roads will become icy, because overnight our temperatures are actually falling beneath the freezing mark, and daytime highs will get above freezing. So for tomorrow, getting into the upper 20s for our tonight, that is, into tomorrow, upper 30s, lower 40s across the region. So getting right back to average for this time of year. And your 7-day forecast is showing a steady temperature for daytime highs, that is, moving forward here into the upper 30s, but we will see some fog extend through tomorrow until Wednesday for those low-lying elevations. As been like your extended forecast, let's check out your snow report for today.
Your Local Alert Weather Snow Report brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
All right, Mount Hood Meadows picked up 4 more inches of snow overnight last night. Timberline picked up another 2 as well. Mount Bachelor added 3 to their 86-inch base, and they should pick up another 1 to 2 inches overnight tonight into tomorrow. That's been a look at your weather. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, my name is Amanda Gao, and I'm the director for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Oregon. The youth in our program, often from single-parent families, are between the ages of 6 and 18 and are all in need of some additional support, guidance, and individual attention. While many people think of us as a volunteer organization, we are donor funded. To learn more about becoming a volunteer or to financially support our program, please call 541-312-6047. Thank you.
21 Cares for Kids.
The snow's falling and Powder House is stocked for the season. From classic alpine to backcountry technical and after-ski fashions. Whether you ski, board, or just enjoy the outdoors, we have everything you need to stay warm this winter. We're your winter clothing and accessory headquarters. Powder House on Century Drive.
Everybody has a place in the community. No matter what your differences are, everybody has a sense of purpose.
Opportunity Foundation has actually been a lot of help for me.
The Opportunity Foundation sees every human being as being filled with infinite possibilities. Everyone is full of potential.
You wouldn't be able to have what we have with our kids if we didn't have the Opportunity Foundation, so I feel very, very fortunate for them.
Powder House is ready to help you find the perfect gear to improve your performance in the snow. Specializing in custom boot fitting, we'll help you find the perfect boot with great performance and comfort. Ben's largest selection of skis and snowboards at Powder House on Century Drive. The road to winter fun.
Please welcome Ellen DeGeneres.
You're very flexible. I am so flexible, you know that.
I have no idea where this is going to go.
Would you wear these? That's what I've got on right now.
On News Channel 21 at 4.
One of the protesters who organized the rally in Burns is from the high desert. Today, our Kendra Ken spoke with a member of the Central Oregon Constitutional Guard. Kendra, what's his message today?
Well, Dan, BJ Soper of Redmond says he's known both the Hammonds and the Bundys for quite a while. He says he's spent several weeks in Burns, but today he was in Madras where he attended U.S. Senator Ron Wyden's town hall meeting. He asked the senator to step in and help end this conflict peacefully and recognize the concerns of rural ranchers. BJ Soper of Redmond is back from Burns, wearing his Central Oregon Constitutional Guard jacket proudly as he begs Senator Ron Wyden to visit Harney County and help defuse a standoff.
I'm concerned. I'm truly concerned.
Wyden was in Madras for a scheduled town hall meeting. He told the crowd he's monitoring the occupation of the Malheur refuge. He said he does not have immediate plans to visit Burns, but wants Oregonians to know he does not support the illegal activity. He suspects many in our state feel the same.
The local residents are not in agreement with some of these people who've come from the outside and just seem willing to take the law into their own hands.
An unknown number of protesters took over the building, vowing to stay until federal lands are returned to the ranchers and locals of Harney County. Soper says he spent the last few weeks in Burns helping organize Saturday's peaceful protest. He says he did not know Bundy and his followers were going to take over the refuge.
A bomb that was dropped on us.
Soper says he does not agree with the occupation, but understands why the group wants to make a stand.
The frustrations with the ranchers not being able to graze the way that they need to be able to graze has caused them to not be able to manage as many cattle, which affects their life and which affects all of our lives.
Soper himself is not a rancher, rather describing himself as an American who stands up for others when he feels constitutional rights have been violated. He says the Hammonds are just the latest victims of government overreach. Wyden says he understands it's hard to make a living in rural areas.
Folks in rural Oregon are really hurting economically, and I get that frustration.
And Soper also tells me he was angry when Bundy and his followers overtook that refuge. However, he says he is going back to Burns tomorrow to try to help end the occupation peacefully. Dan, back to you.
Kendra Ken joining us in studio. Thanks. The takeover is grabbing a lot of state and national attention, and as this is an election year, politicians are weighing in as well. News Channel 21's Lauren Martinez joins us from the newsroom. Lauren?
Dan, Congressman Greg Walden sent us this statement regarding the refuge takeover. He tells us the situation is very troubling and that no one is likely to emerge a winner. Walden says law enforcement is working to keep everyone safe and resolve the matter peacefully. During his first campaign stop in Iowa today, Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz said he hopes protesters who took over the refuge, quoting here, stand down peacefully.
Every one of us has a constitutional right to protest, to speak our minds. But we don't have a constitutional right to use force and violence and to threaten force and violence on others.
Dr. Ben Carson says there's no reason that the federal government should lay claim to so much land. He believes it would be wise to gradually start returning that land to the states and let them deal with it in an appropriate way. The militia members have reached to the president for pardon, but there has not been an official response. Coming up at 10 and 11 for my full story, I'll have reaction from Oregon's Farm Bureau and the Cattlemen's Association and what they plan to do for the Hammonds moving forward. Dan, back to you.
All right, Lauren, thanks. We'll see you then. And up next, Wall Street got off to a rough start in the new year with stocks plummeting on the worst opening day in more than 80 years. And President Obama introduced a new gun law initiative today. We have the details on that still to come on News Channel 21.
When words can't capture a moment, you let the story speak for itself. They all say the same thing. Paris is alive.
If you love them, license him. License them. License her. License her. It's more than love, it's the law. The state of Oregon requires all dogs to be licensed yearly. Keep your community safe and don't risk a citation of up to $372. License her. If you love them, visit Deschutes.org and click on Permits and Licenses today or call 541-388-6637. License her.
Planning for retirement?
You need a trusted advisor to guide you through this tricky financial landscape. At Elevation Capital Strategies, we look at what your specific needs are, what you hope to do, and what you'd like to give in order to develop a plan to ensure you continue to receive income throughout retirement and beyond. Our focus has always been to help people take a lifetime of working, saving, investing, and planning and make it work for the next stage of life. To find out how we can help, visit elevationcapitalstrategies.com.
Jennifer Lopez on the next new Ellen.
We have a lot in common. I mean, we were both judges on American Idol. I also grew up on a block.
Everything new with J-Lo, from television to Las Vegas.
And I love that she taught us a valuable lesson about life. Love don't cost a thing. Although I've learned that it actually costs you a little bit of money because Portia likes cashmere.
Jennifer Lopez, next new Ellen.
On News Channel 21 at 4.
President Obama says he will roll out a new set of initiatives on tightening the nation's gun laws over the next several days. Speaking to reporters, the president said he is confident the new gun control initiatives are constitutionally sound and consistent with the Second Amendment. The president did not specify what actions he plans to take, but he says that the new steps will potentially save lives. Those new initiatives are expected to include expanded background checks. 2 buildings at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California are expected to reopen today after a mass shooting last month. The 3rd building, which was the site of the shooting, is closed indefinitely. A memorial service will also be held today to honor the victims. It is far from a happy new year on Wall Street, where stocks have been sharply lower in early trading. The Dow has been more than 400 points lower for much of the day thus far. Earlier today, China's main index fell 7%. That forced an emergency trading suspension. The fall was triggered by weak Chinese manufacturing data, and European indexes have been down by 2 to 4%. We're taking a quick break. Our coverage from Harney County continues after the break.
Many classrooms across Central Oregon could use an extra hand. That's why News Channel 21 and Mid-Oregon Credit Union created One Class at a Time to help support students, teachers, and schools with a $500 grant. Do you have a creative idea for your class or school? Something that will enhance education and have a broad impact? Please visit ktvz.com/contests. Each month, we'll select a different classroom to receive the One Class at a Time $500 grant. Apply today.
When my asthma flared up?
When my cough kept me off the course?
When they needed care quickly?
BMC Urgent Care was there.
With their doctors and physician assistants, I can get the right care right now.
Even nights and weekends, no appointment necessary.
That's why I love my doc.
The good news? Hearing aids can protect your mind and memory. Call Pacific Northwest Audiology today for a free doctor assessment. Don't let your mind slip away.
This year, it's time for a new perspective. It's time for Dr. Oz. It's time for new ideas to cut through the clutter. Make a change. Look at you. Own change.
That was awesome.
It's time to make health cool again. The all-new Dr. Oz Show. It's time. You're a whole different person. It's time for you.
Weekdays on News Channel 21.
Protesters, terrorists, patriots. The list goes on for words used to describe the men that have taken over the National Wildlife Refuge near Burns. Jennifer Wade spoke with a local anthropologist about how important the words we use to describe these men are. Jen, what should we call them?
Dan, they call themselves patriots as they are protesting government overreach. But others are saying that they should be called terrorists, and the only reason why they aren't is because of the color of their skin.
The armed group, who call themselves Citizens for Constitutional Freedom, have taken over the headquarters of the National Wildlife Refuge outside Burns. Protest spokesman Eamon Bundy says his group is armed, but they should not be considered terrorist or militia.
The only violence that, if it comes our way, will be because government is wanting their building back, and that's what it would be about. We're putting nobody in harm's way. We are not threatening anybody.
COCC professor of anthropology Amy Harper explained how naming a group has consequences. When someone hears the term protester, they often assume there's logic behind their cause, whereas
as a rioter, a terrorist, we reduce all of that to say that there's nothing even worth engaging, they're not logical, they're not responsible, they're emotional, and we need to respond back.
Others argue that if the occupiers were black or Muslim, they would be treated differently.
The difference between how we talk about many of the school shooters versus how we talk about the shootings in San Bernardino.
Elon James White started the hashtag Oregon Under Attack to emphasize how he thought people would react if the occupiers were black or Muslim.
When you hear the word terrorist, if in your mind you are already getting an idea of how a particular person looks and what group of people they represent, then that means that we have something problematic in how we're using those terms.
She says the language the media uses can greatly persuade the public's opinion of the men occupying the refuge. We'll continue our team coverage on this issue, and we'll let you know of any updates we have. Dan, back to you.
All right, that was Jennifer Wade joining us in studio. And when we come back, Emily is back with a final check on your forecast. And as Jen mentioned, we are back out to Burns, where Wanda Moore has one final update on the Militia Refuge takeover. Stay with us.
It starts with great customer service, and that's how relationships begin. That's how we do business at Advanced Northwest Welding. Need custom metal fabrication? Advanced Northwest Welding now offers shearing and forming of a wide variety of sheet metal stock, a process that requires highly specialized equipment and expert operational craftsmanship. Advanced Northwest Welding has both. From design to completion, projects of any size and 24/7 service. Advanced Northwest Welding. Visit our website for all of our services.
Are you dreaming of buying a home? Neighbor Impact can help.
Being, single mom with 2 kids, I wanted to make sure that I could get into a home.
Chris Dank works in real estate. She used to tell others about Neighbor Impact, then she became a client.
I think that the classes are amazing. There was a lot of information.
Neighbor Impact offers homeownership assistance and financial coaching. Call us today to find out if we can help.
21 cares for kids. KTVZ.com is the home of News Channel 21 on the web. Get the latest breaking news, local, national, and world news. Your current local weather forecast. KTVZ.com. Today's news, today. When news happens, KTVZ.com is your source for the latest information. Everywhere you need us to be, anytime from anywhere. News Channel 21 at KTVZ.com is Central Oregon's online news leader.
News Channel 21 is looking for career-minded individuals to join our sales team. As an advertising consultant, you will work with a variety of local companies to help them grow their business through television and digital advertising. If you have prior sales experience and believe in a customer-focused sales approach, we want to hear from you. We provide comprehensive training and an excellent benefits package. For more information, go to our website at ktvz.com, where you will find job details and information on how to submit an application. News Channel 21 is an equal opportunity employer.
Before we say goodnight at 5 o'clock tonight, we will give you one last update from Burns. Our own Wanda Moore is there now with the very latest. Wanda?
Well, Dan, it's been 3 days since the occupation started, and I've been out here since day one. It's been fairly quiet out here. That is until today. You could see the law enforcement and media presence increase dramatically. Now, the story has captured interest worldwide. The BBC is out here, and so are other European outlets, and of course stations from around the country. Sheriff Ward said he requested support from other law enforcement agencies, and they have come from around the state. I talked to the Oregon State Police. They said they have sent mostly administrative staff so far. We also know there are many FBI agents here. Sheriff Ward said today what had started as a peaceful rally on Saturday took an unfortunate turn.
It's time for you to leave our community, go home to your families, and end this peacefully.
How you doing, Pete? Compared to how cold it's been.
Meanwhile, Bundy and his group say that law enforcement agencies told them they would leave them alone, and tonight that is what it looks like.